Photography is all about light, right? It can set the mood of your shots and make them soft or harsh, warm or cool, or even downright scary. And the same applies for videography. You're watching this video right now probably thinking, damn, this video is beautifully lit.
You read my mind.
Actually, you probably didn't even notice the lighting in this video because my studio lights are doing their job.
Oh, okay, I see what's happening.
You can see me well, and there aren't any harsh shadows or odd color temperatures making you think, man, what is up with that? Since light is so important to photography and videography, I spent a lot of time testing out lights in all shapes and sizes, and today I want to give you a first impression or a review of one of the most recent lights that I've been testing. That is the GVM PRO-SD200B. So let's stop messing around and get right to it. Now, though the subject of today's video is the GVM PRO-SD200B, I do want to point out that over the course of the last handful of years, I've been using aperture lights in my studio, and that's going to be an important piece of information to have a little bit later on. So put that tidbit someplace so you can refer to it in a few minutes. Now, another thing I quickly want to mention is that in today's video, and each of the videos over the last month or so, have been lit by this guy right here. This is the GVM PRO-SD200B, which is technically the big brother to the 200B, which we are using to light this video. Now, these lights are pretty much identical, other than the wattage output is 200 watts versus the 300 watts. Now, I have a number of these GVM lights that I've been testing over the course of the last month here, so you can expect to see some more first impression reviews on these lights coming in the oncoming weeks as well. And really what happened here is I picked up this one. I have one of their panel lights and I have one of their tube lights, which is the blue illumination behind me. And I was so impressed with these things, with these lights here, that I reached out to GVM and asked them if I can borrow a few of their other lights to create more videos to share with you folks. And that's exactly what we're doing here. So I'm going to create some, I've been beating the hell out of these lights here over the last month and probably for the next month ahead or so. Then I send it back over to them. But I've been playing around with these lights and man, I am really impressed. Now with that little disclaimer out of the way, let's get down to the brass tacks and discuss the specs and features of this light.
Let's do this!
Now, starting things off, this is a bicolor spotlight with 200 watts of output, which is really perfect for a whole host of photo and video needs. Now, these lights also have a high color rendering index. That's your CRI of 97 plus. Now, in television lighting consistency index, man, if I can get that out, or the TLCI of 97 plus. Hell, while we're at it. Now, brightness is adjustable from 1 to 100%, so you can easily fine-tune the lighting to your very specific needs. Now, these lights also utilize an algorithm that allows instant light intensity adjustment. So in other words, you can take large step adjustments in the light's brightness output and do so very quickly in seamless transitions for much greater control. And one of the cool things about this light here as well, there is no less than 12 light effects. So lightning, CCT, cycle, candle, bad bulb, TV, paparazzi, explosion, breathing light, strobe, flame, welding, and fireworks. So you have, I had to think about where I was going to go with that for a minute. So you have tons of choices for adding those visual interests to your photos and videos. Now, there are also 12 source matching modes that make it easy to match the light output. Now, there are also 12 source matching modes that make it easy to match the light output to a very specific type of light source. So, for example, candlelight, sunlight, studio lights, to name a few. And you also get DMX control with this light. You have 8-bit and 16-bit as well. Now, if you've used lights like this before, you know how hot these things can get.
It's not fun when it's so hot!
And thankfully, GVM has incorporated a built-in fan as part of the active cooling system to dissipate the heat and really prevent overheating. Now, these lights are made from aluminum alloy, which makes the light really strong yet lightweight and able to stand up to the rigors of use in the studio or, in like my case, out in the field. Now, it weighs just 4 pounds. Well, actually, the 200 does. It's 4 pounds, 10 ounces, and has a relatively small, I mean, again, the 200 is almost identical in size. I actually think they are the same size. But anyways, as you can see, it's a small form factor, so it doesn't get in the way in the studio, and it's easy to transport from one location to the next. Now, something else worth pointing out is that the conventional spotlight often suffer from variations in power that result in inconsistent brightness as color temperature changes. But GVM's mad scientists have developed a new algorithm that solves this problem and guarantees that you get consistent brightness no matter what the color temperature that you've selected. Yeah, pretty stinking cool stuff. Now, while the laundry list of specs and features that I just went through is actually quite impressive, I've managed to leave the best feature out for last.
I'm all ears.
The light can be controlled by your iPhone, or those of you with an Android phone, through the app on this thing. Now, the app is really well designed and is extremely simple to use. That's the one thing that I really admired about this thing. It is very intuitive to just crap, I put the wrong password in. Anyway, before my phone decided to have a meltdown and didn't let me inside of it here, what I was saying here, this app really is intuitive, simple to use, and gives you much greater control over the light settings in performance. So for example, you can quickly adjust the light's brightness or set a dynamic scene right in the app itself. It's actually a lot more intuitive way to adjust your studio lights than other lights that I've used in the past. And better still, the lights support Bluetooth mesh networking. So basically what this means is you can control multiple GVM lights with Bluetooth mesh networking support from your device. So if you have multiple lights set up, having that kind of functionality and control is quite a game-changing feature to have there.
Sure it is.
You know, it's funny, as I'm rattling that off and I'm saying that was the best feature with this thing. It's impressive, but you know, I'm gonna take that back, or can we have a tie for best feature?
But wait, there's more.
Because in all reality, one of the things that really stood out about this company, and one of the reasons that I decided to give it a go, because I've seen a lot of noise with regards to folks talking about these lights, which is one of the reasons why I decided to test it out to begin with, but the price point. And so that's actually, I think, one of the more attractive features about these lights is the absolute price. Now at $239, the GVM PRO-SD200B is incredibly, need I say it, budget friendly. And unlike many other budget friendly or lighting options out there, these lights are actually really, really good. So you don't often find lights that have this many features, this quality of lighting at a low price. Now, which actually brings me back to that little, remember the little tidbit that information that I gave you back in the video earlier?
Yeah, I remember.
Now, I've used aperture lights for a long time, and they are, I'm not going to take anything away, they're fantastic lights. They have a reputation of quality for a reason, but I'm not loyal to a brand. I've said this many times in many other videos. I'm loyal to you, the consumers. I test lights and other gear to see what's good and what isn't. That way I can give you information that you need to make better educated decisions and to invest in the gear for your photography and videography pursuits. Geez. So while I've really enjoyed the aperture lights and wholeheartedly recommend them, the GVM lights are just simply better. They're more functional, easier to use, and way cheaper. Need I say the old cliche, it's a win-win? You know, well, we'll spice it up and say put another win on top of that.
It's a lot of winnings.
But there you guys have it. This is the first impression of the GVM PRO-SD200B. These are pretty stinking cool lights. Now, I fully admit that I've had my doubts since it's a brand that I never had used before, but the proof is in the pudding, and the pudding is good. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me on this quick video. If you learned something or found this video to be entertaining, do me a favor. Take a second, drop me a like, leave a comment. I would love to hear from you, and subscribe to the channel so you keep up with the full videos like this. Your support is much appreciated, and hey, I'll see you during the next video.